all hours of tomorrow morning. If there are any further developments, we'll bring them to you later in this bulletin. Meanwhile, let's hope that, on this occasion at least, no news is good news. This afternoon at Liverpool, Teresa O'Donovan was found guilty of stealing baby Mark Dawson from his parents at Wallasey last May. She was sentenced to 2 years imprisonment.
Not bloody
It will be remembered that baby Mark was missing for over 6 weeks. Teresa O'Donovan was the victim of a bomb incident in Belfast last March.
Pity didn't finish her off.
Today, there were demonstrations outside the court when O'Donovan arrived for the last day of the hearing. And finally, in a report from Aden,
that's going to mean trouble. Just to cut all the unsuitable bits out of the newspapers. Sometimes they look like paper doilies.
The members are disgruntled.
Irish, is she? Doesn't matter what she is, she got what she deserved. 2 years.
2 years in this dump for something she couldn't help.
Couldn't help.
She stole that baby, didn't she?
Yeah, just think what the mum must have felt.
The girl was bombed only a few weeks before she took
So
the baby.
what?
Any judge would have known she was ill.
Oh, just listen to her.
Knows it all.
Look, if she comes here, you two better treat her decently.
Treat her decently, a baby-snatcher.
Don't preach at us, sweetheart. We'll do what we think best.
We'll treat her as we find.
That's right. You won't find me even speaking to her.
Stupid! Carol, pull yourself together.
She'd have killed us this time, miss.
I'm sorry, miss. You're going to tell her. She's a danger.
That's enough all.
Carol, come on. I'll lock up the television.
Oh, what for? I time.
Oh, break it up. That's all for tonight.
Oh, please. Come on, let's break. We've got to break it. Come in.
Mrs. B, what are you doing?
I don't know. I wish I hadn't started it.
I wondered if you'd seen this. They'll be here, too.
I expect so.
2 years seems rather a long sentence.
If you think that, listen to this. I've been doing some research on recent cases. Keeping a baby for 6 months unharmed and regarded as a daughter, probation. Keeping a baby for a year, returning her unharmed, 21 months. Keeping a baby for half an hour and returning her unharmed, 2 years.
It doesn't seem very consistent.
It looks as if Teresa O'Donovan's reception committee has arrived.
Oh?
I saw them from my window. And, of course, the television cameras are here, too.
Well, of course.
Now the media will take it up again for all it's worth.
And tomorrow the newspapers will be full of infuriated letters. Why don't the public realise that we're only doing a job, whether we agree with the courts or not?
From which I gather that today you don't.
The law's archaic. It was made in 1860.
To protect children from prostitution.
Of course, these women are mentally disturbed, not immoral child snatchers.
Some of them do keep their babies for several months.
I can't think that prison is the answer. Well, that sounds like our reception committee now.
Yes, it sounds rather ugly, too. I think I'll go down to the gate, see if they need any help.
If somebody breaks your leg, don't come running to me.
If somebody breaks my leg, I won't be able to run to anyone.
Begun. Outcry over the baby snatcher. Apparently, after seeing the news on television, a fight broke out between Carol Waterlow and Lily Heaver.
Who?
Oh, you know, the girl who demanded Rule 43.
Oh, that one.
She got fed up with being herself, so she's out again. We had to move her to South Wing.
She's a funny girl, that Carol Waterlow. Wealthy background, father a QC, everything going for her. And then she aids and abets 3 young tearaways to rob him. Has he visited her?
No.
Well, I can't say I blame them. Those pictures they sold were worth over 70,000.
Governor. Oh, yes, thank you. Teresa has arrived at reception.
I'll go and see her. Hospital wing for observation?
Yes, if you think so. Is this one of Father O'Callaghan's Pentonville days?
Yeah.
Well, I think I'll ring him, ask him to come over and see her.
Good idea. They had another bomb scare there today. I expect he'd be glad to get away.
Hey, baby-snatcher! Irish pervert, eh? Hey! Irish cow! Get back to your bloody bones! In silence, I shall put everyone concerned on a charge!
We had a bit of a ruck here this evening, but they seem to have settled now. Maisie in 14 is being discharged in the morning, so get her up early. I think you'll have a quiet night. Good night.
All right, Waterloo. Wait till cell 14.
I'll ask one of the welfare officers to call again and find out if your husband has in fact left home, though I think it's most unlikely.
But he's never written, not once.
Is he normally a good correspondent?
Eh?
Is he a good letter writer?
Oh, no, he never writes to no one.
Well then, has he visited you?
Only once. He said he wasn't coming again.
Did he say why?
Seeing as how I couldn't stop crying.
Yes, I see. Mrs. Wilson, have you always been like this?
Only since I come here. I can't seem to take it. And now if he's left home...
When the welfare officer called and saw your husband, he told her that he had a very good job. The garden kept him busy and that his mother was looking after the house while you were here. What on earth makes you imagine that he wants to leave?
Oh, it's all so hopeless.
Yes, well, most of us get depressed in here at times, but you've only got another 3 weeks of your sentence to serve. Do try and cheer up. Or else when you leave here, your husband might get pretty fed up with your constant moaning. Now, I'll try and persuade him to come and see you again. But in return, you've got to do something for me.
Yes, madam.
Now, I want you to pull yourself together. Try and take an interest in yourself. Spend some money on makeup and go to the next hairdressing session. It'll make you feel much better. I'm sure your husband will be delighted if he comes to see you again.
Yes, madam.
Well, we'll let you know if we have any luck with him. That's all. Well, you really can't blame the man, can you? What's she in for?
Assistant shoplifting. Cosmetics.
Mrs. Armitage, you should have stopped me. Now that poor woman thinks I'm pulling her leg. Really, I did put up a black there, didn't I? Now, who's next?
No more applications, madam.
Oh, well, who's first on report?
Carol Waterlow.
Bring her in.
Carol Waterlow.
Three 7894. Good morning, madam.
In the South Wing yesterday at 6 o'clock, Carol Waterlow attacked Mary Davis with a chair, which I took from her. She continued her attack. Miss Parrish and I separated them.
You've heard the charge. Do you realize that this could have led to a very ugly incident?
Yes.
Have you no self-control, Carol?
Enough, usually. But those two bloody stupid women were threatening to bully her.
Who?
The Irish girl, the baby-snatcher. Well, surely it wasn't her fault that she did it. She's ill after being bombed.
That's for the doctors to decide.
Yes, I suppose it is. But perhaps they don't know what it must be like to live in Belfast.
You do realize that if this happens again, that you'll have to be punished. As it is, it'll have to go down on your conduct sheet.
I quite realize that. And I'm sorry.
And I don't want to see you before me again, Carol. A caution.
Oh, madam, while I'm here, may I ask you something? It's about the library. I wanted to get your books out, but it seems there's some difficulty.
Why do you want my books?
Well, as I'm inside, I think it might help to read about it and to know about your problems. But the librarian seemed doubtful.
Well, we'll see what we can do, Carol.
Thank you, madam.
I don't understand this, Mrs. Armitage. We have this arrangement with the local authorities. It's possible for an inmate to apply for any book. Have a word with the librarian, will you?
Yes, madam.
Thank you, Red Band.
Thank you. Are you busy?
Yes, Adele. Come in.
Teresa O'Donovan. Have you seen her lately?
Yes, yesterday. I thought she seemed better.
Well, she's still very withdrawn, but I think I'm going to discharge her from the hospital. Have you any details of the bombing incident?
Not yet. Her report hasn't come through.
She refuses to talk about it.
Well, is that surprising?
I think she may be suffering from a partial loss of memory.
Then do you think it's wise to let her out of the hospital quite so soon?
Oh, we'll keep an eye on her, of course, but she's got to mix with the others sooner or later.
She may have found an ally in South Wing.
Who?
Carol Waterlow, who thinks, like the rest of us, that she's the victim of an archaic law.
Good night, Barbara. Good night, Joe. Good night, Mary. Good night. Good night, Kitty.
Hello, Teresa. Right. Come along with me. Here you are, Teresa. Now, you're allowed to put up pictures or photographs if you wish. You are responsible for keeping your cell clean and tidy. We'll discuss your other duties tomorrow. Breakfast is at 7 o'clock and you start work at 8. The night patrol will be keeping an eye on you, so if there's anything you... Are you listening, Teresa?
Yes.
Anything wrong? Phone through to duty nurse and ask her to bring up a sedative. You do well. The nurse will bring you something to help you relax. Good night, Teresa.
Here, you got a horse you want to choke? It looks worse than the solid yesterday.
Teresa, come to her breakfast yet?
Not yet.
Breakfast, Teresa.
Shall I try and get her to eat something?
Good idea, Carol.
Can I have another breakfast?
Not time for seconds yet.
It's for the new arrival in number 24.
What's up now?
Here.
Oh, that.
Oh, room service.
Bought you some breakfast. One of the worst things here. You'll have to get used to it. Yeah, come on, eat up. It'll do you good. Don't let it get you down. The first few weeks here are the worst. If you can get through those. What was the hospital like? Did our Faye come and visit you? Who's that? It's the governor, it's her name.
What's yours?
Carol.
Mine's Teresa.
Yes, I know, I heard about it.
Yes. Everybody knows. Did you hear that crowd when I arrived?
It's the telly and the newspapers, they get everyone worked up.
Yes. I didn't know posh people like you came in here.
They do.
Oh, don't go.
Right. What is it?
There's no cut for my baby.
But it wasn't your baby. Don't you remember?
Not really. Do we all have to sleep alone in here?
No. No, people often share when we're full.
Oh, I wish I could. I can't sleep when I'm alone now. It's terrible. Terrible.
Now, Teresa, don't cry. Don't cry. You leave it to me.
What is it?
The new girl, Teresa. She's scared stiff of being alone at night. Any chance of our sharing? I wouldn't mind.
We'll see how she goes first. If she does settle down alone, it'll be better for everyone.
And if she doesn't?
Then we'll have to think again.
For God's sake, will no one ever make any kind of
Don't
decision?
shout at me, please. It won't get you anywhere.
Sorry. Grief, anybody think she owned the place?
It's just her way.
That girl had everything she needed.
Can't blame her for being born rich.
I can blame her for wasting our time and the taxpayers' money in here. What does she want?
Share a cell with the Irish girl. Teresa's frightened of being alone. She's worried about her.
Oh, is she? I wonder if she was so worried about the parents of the child that Teresa stole.
Well, what do you think, Chief?
I'd say no every time. I don't think Carol would be a good influence on anyone.
Well, I've told her to wait and see how things go. Teresa may calm down. Give it a week or two.
All right.
Let me out! Let me out! Oh, please! Please!
It's a night running. We needn't upset the others. Does the governor know?
Yes. She and Dr. Mazer agreed that Carol and Teresa should share.
Can't do any harm to give it a try.
So, Carol gets her own way, as usual.
I wasn't really considering Carol. Merely trying to stop these nightmares of Teresa's and give the other inmates a little peace.
Where's Carol today?
On kitchen duty. I'll tell her at lunchtime. She can move in with Teresa tonight.
Carol?
Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks for moving in with me.
Feel better?
Oh, I do indeed.
And no shouting tonight, not fair to the others.
No.
If you do wake me.
Is that all right?
Of course.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Have you thought of doing any of the evening classes? What's the matter, love?
My baby. If only I knew where it was.
It's all right, Teresa. Don't cry. Shh. I'm with you now, darling. You try and get to sleep.
In here, darling.
I'll leave you doing that. Come on in, Charles. Car broke down, so Charles gave me a lift. Oh, darling, you remembered. Oh.
Hello, Charles.
Oh, Bill, what's this, a celebration or something?
Wedding anniversary.
Our 26th.
26 years, that's marvellous.
You know the secret of our success?
No.
We've never been together long enough to get bored with each other.
Well, anyway, let's all have a drink. You can help us celebrate.
Oh, no, I feel a bit spare
No,
up.
come on, Charles. Sit down. Charles and I are thinking of having a governor's strike, aren't we, Charles?
Yeah, something like that. We're being snowed under with foreign shoplifters.
They come in for a few days and upset everyone. Soon every prison officer will have to take a degree in modern languages. You remember that woman that I was talking to today?
Yeah.
Do you know that she had nearly £200 on her when she was caught, and all she'd stolen was a T-shirt worth £2? It'd be very funny if it wasn't so damned infuriating.
I don't know why the courts don't fine them. Why send them to prison for a first offence?
Well, I suppose it's to discourage other light-fingered foreigners.
Well, I'm going to make a formal protest, and you, Charles, are going to back me up.
Right.
Why don't you stay to supper?
Oh, no. Beth is expecting me, really.
Cheers.
Well,
Cheers.
here's to the next 26.
I've been doing a little shoplifting myself today.
So have I.
May I come in? Carol?
Oh, I'm sorry, madam, I didn't hear you. Please, have my chair.
Thank you. Where's Teresa?
Taking the trolley back. I tried to get her to mingle a bit.
Are the other inmates a little more friendly?
Some are, some aren't. but they feel strongly one way or the other.
Your plan seems to have worked.
Sharing? Yes. She's eating more and she's sleeping better.
Did you know that she went to see Miss Padbury, the new psychiatrist?
When?
Yesterday.
She never told me. Funny.
Well, I gather it wasn't a great success.
Well, if she won't talk to Father O'Callaghan, she won't talk to a psychiatrist, will she?
Miss Padbury suggests that we put her to work in the maternity ward.
Oh.
You sound doubtful.
Well, it's none of my business, is it?
I feel you know her better than any of us. Why are you doubtful?
It's a risk I wouldn't like to take.
Why?
When she first came here, she used to hold her pillow like a baby. She still does in her sleep. If she were given a real baby to hold, it might be more than she could take.
Well, Miss Padbury's the expert.
Of course.
Teresa will be told officially, but you might explain to her that we're doing it to try and help her.
When would she start?
Next week.
Right. Right, I'll tell her.
I see you got my books.
Yes. Yes, I found them fascinating.
One day we'll have to have a talk about you for a change.
There's nothing to talk about, madam. I committed a crime. I was sentenced. I'm serving my time. That's all.
You're one of the lucky ones in this world, Carol. There must be a reason why.
There were no extenuating circumstances. Mr. Justice Kennington made that very clear in his summing up. I've tried to come to terms with my life here. It isn't easy. Please.
Have you had a nice tea?
Yes, madam.
Good.
Hello, Teresa. Had a nice tea?
What's wrong, Carol?
I wish people wouldn't interfere.
Sorry?
Oh, not you. The governor.
What was she saying?
They're going to send you to work in maternity.
Me?
Yes. Aren't you pleased?
Pleased? Why should it be? My baby won't be there.
You haven't got a baby, darling.
I have you. I have. And I can't find him. Nobody understands.
You're talking about a baby you pinched. That's why you're here.
I didn't. I swear I didn't. I wouldn't do that.
Well, you didn't deny it in court, did you?
What's the good of saying anything in court? All them faces, and the judge just sitting there staring at me. I was scared out of my mind, weren't you?
In a different way. It was my father's scene, so I wasn't awestruck.
Your father?
Yes, he's a barrister. Why didn't you tell me you went to see Miss Padbury?
Didn't seem to matter. She only asked a lot of questions.
What sort?
About me home and that. Questions I couldn't answer.
Why not? Tell me.
I can't.
You must. Look, it might help. Teresa, this could be important.
Well, all right. But you must swear you won't tell anyone. Go on, swear. Take this and say, I swear by the Holy Mother of Jesus that I won't tell Madam or anyone what Teresa's told me.
But darling, I'm an agnostic. It means nothing to me.
If you won't swear, I won't tell you.
Okay. Okay, I swear. Now go ahead.
I can't remember anything. Anything till I woke up in that hospital bed. They said there'd been a bomb. I don't remember anything.
Why didn't you tell them?
Well, they'd send me to a loony bin, wouldn't they?
No, you're
And that'd
not
be
there. They
forever.
should know now. This
No.
lot's here.
No, you promised. You swore in that
All
book,
right, Teresa,
Carol.
all right, calm down. What do you remember?
Well, I remember waking up in the hospital. Seems I'd been there all of 2 days. And I felt awful tired. My head hurt.
How long did you stay?
2 weeks, maybe.
Did anyone visit you?
No. Seems I was alone.
Then what?
Well, I wanted to get away from Ireland. And there was a nurse had a sister working in Liverpool in a hotel. So I wrote off for a job, and I got it.
Were you happy?
I was not. Well, anyway, one day I was going into the supermarket near the hotel, and I saw himself. My baby. Oh, so I took him quick. Prom and all. Oh, I couldn't believe it.
How did you live? Money.
Oh, there was a post office book in my bag. They brought it to me at the hospital. I must have been saving for something. Well, anyway, I took a room in New Brighton. Oh, it was lovely. 6 weeks I had with him.
Then?
Well, then, one day the police stopped me as I came out the door. And they took my baby away from me.
Listen, love, let me tell the governor, please.
Oh, no, you promised. They'd send me to a bin, and I'd lose you too. You're all I got now.
Stealing from another inmate is not only contemptible, but extremely foolish. Makes you very unpopular. 14 days loss of privileges and it'll go on your report. That's all. Who's next?
That's the end of the reports, madam. There's some prisoners' applications.
Oh, let's have them in.
Come on, hurry up.
42830, Rita Wilson.
Why, Mrs. Wilson, I didn't recognize you.
My husband didn't either, thanks to you, madam.
Well, what can we do for you?
Well, as you know, madam, I go out Friday week, and I wanted to buy this outfit. He says he'll pay. Well, I needed to write the extra letter and send it to him to add the cheque.
Well, I think it's very nice. Well, why don't you wait until you go out yourself and you can buy it yourself?
Oh, no, he's coming to meet me, and I wanted to start looking nice.
Yes, I understand. How much is he giving you?
£30.
Is he indeed? Well, that's splendid. Permission granted.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
So my little faux pas paid off in the end.
So it seems, madam.
Now, who's next?
It's Mrs. Lolas.
Is she one of the foreign shoplifters?
The lady from Athens, madam.
Oh, God. All right, let's have her in.
Mrs. Lolas?
Εγώ δεν περιμένω ποτέ. Α, λοιπόν, κυρία Διευθυντής. Τέλος πάντων, σας είδα. Μήπως εσείς θα καταλάβετε. Διότι αυτός ο βλάκας, ο δικαστής, ο ηλίθιος, δεν κατάλαβε τίποτε.
Yes, well, Mrs. Lolas, if you would just...
Τίποτα μ' αρέσει αυτός. Δεν ξέρετε ποια είμαι. Είμαι η σύζυγός του Σπύρου Λόλος. Πρώην δήμαρχος της Άμφισσας, ο οποίος πουλάει το λόρι του στην ολόκληρη Ευρώπη.
Mrs.
Όνομα
Lolas,
του
please, I must insist.
Εγώ δεν έκανα τίποτα. Δεν είναι σωστό αυτό. Μα αυτό δεν είναι. Θα γράψω στην πρεσβεία μου.
Ah, Mrs. Armitage, what did you make of that?
It's all Greek to me, madam.
You've been told about going to work in the maternity wing.
Yes, Father.
You like that?
Suppose so.
I'm sure you will. Now, Teresa, when you were in hospital, when you first came in, you told me that you'd been brought up in a convent.
Did it, Father?
Sure you did.
Oh,
Oh, you weren't well at the time. No doubt you've forgotten.
yes.
Now, I'm going home for a few days, and whilst I was there, I thought it might be a good idea if I went and have a word with the sisters. So if you tell me which convent it was, I might be able to find out something that would help. You see, my child, we know so little about you. And the governor's worried. She's only trying to help you.
Surely, Father.
Well, which convent was it?
I can't tell you. Excuse me, Father.
Group therapy numbers seem to be holding up very well.
Report
Oh, it's
on
going along famously. You
Teresa.
should come along soon.
Have you seen her since she went to work in maternity?
Yes, yesterday. And frankly, I did not like what I saw.
Oh, why?
Well, she's losing weight and all her tension has returned.
Perhaps it wasn't such a good idea.
Well, Miss Padbury seems very keen on it.
Yes, I know. I felt I had to respect her opinion as an expert.
Well, since Teresa virtually refused to answer any of her questions, I fail to see how Miss Padbury could have arrived at a satisfactory diagnosis.
Well, Miss Padbury or no Miss Padbury, if you think it's wise, I'll get her out of maternity at once, before more damage is done.
How are you getting on, Teresa?
Nearly done.
You're a fast worker. They're nicely done.
Thank you, sister.
Bring them through when you finish and put them in the linen cupboard, will you?
Yes, sister.
And would you like to come up and help with the older babies at tea time today?
No, thank you, sister.
But I thought the whole idea of your coming to work into maternity was... There you are, Mrs. Scott.
Yeah. Miss Scott isn't ready yet, sister.
Silly girl.
Well, I didn't think he was coming out of hospital till tomorrow.
Oh, look, leave him in this pram and go and do it now. He looks well, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's great to have him back.
I'm sure it is. There we are. Oh, I'll come and help you look out his bedding.
Governor. Who is it? Oh, very well. Put him through.
Hello?
Yes?
Is this the governor?
Yes, speaking. Who is that?
Just to let you know, there is a bomb in the car park, and it is going off at 1:35.
What? Hello? Hello?
South wing. Oh, God. All right, Governor, leave it to me. There's a bomb in the car park. Get them out of their cells as quick as you can. Right.
Now, everybody
There is a bomb warning. Now, everybody must keep away from the windows and out of their cells, right?
Oh, that bloody Irish.
Oh, don't start that. Now, we'll have the television on. We'll get about the way we
Still engaged.
Put me through it once,
You've only
please, will
got
you?
2 minutes. We'll have to send someone.
I'll go. Don't worry, he'll make it.
Maternity's so near the car park.
Give a smile for Mommy, Debbie. Go on. Give a smile. Go on. Give us a smile, Debbie. Go on.
My baby's scared. Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Right, everyone. All over now. Don't be ahead of me. Don't be
Dave, dear, try to stop it. Stop crying. You'll make yourself ill.
Sorry.
The officers are organising some hot drinks here. Come along, Alice. Don't worry. We'll get the doctor to give you something.
Phone through P&O and tell him to send a nurse up with some tranquilizers, will you?
You all right, Carol?
Yes. Anything I can do?
Yes, help with the hot drinks, will you?
Right.
I'll be all right.
Do you know what the damage is yet?
No, not yet, but there's nothing to worry about. Get Alice a cup of something, will you?
Everything under control?
Yes, I think so. Poor old Alice Mees isn't looking too good. I think the doctor should see her. What's the damage?
Nothing much. A few cars were damaged, and a maintenance man who was in the car park was injured. They've taken him to hospital. Some of the older inmates are a bit shocked. But it was the maternity got the brunt of it. Teresa's been hurt. I'll deal with that.
Thank you.
Oh, Mrs. Armitage, everything all right? Will you tell Dr. Mays? Good. Everything seems all right. My God, we've been lucky. Charles.
Hello, Governor's office.
Oh, sister, is that you? Are the mothers all right?
Oh, well, we'd be glad to see you, but I'm afraid you're a bit late.
Teresa?
All right, fine. Bye-bye.
Well, we'll be over shortly.
Scotland Yard are on the way.
Charles, we've got to do the rounds. Well, what an excitement. Everybody all right?
Who done it?
Well, we're not sure yet.
Excuse me, madam. Is Teresa hurt?
Well, not by the bomb. She fainted and apparently hit her head. I'll arrange for you to see her in a day or two. Now, where's Mrs. Mead?
Oh, sorry now.
Well, I make sure you get a good night's sleep. But you're going to have a headache tomorrow.
Tis sure I will.
You had a very lucky escape.
Sure did. Is that wee baby all right, Doctor?
Yeah, sure, he's fine. It was lucky for him that you picked him up. Pram was full of glass.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll look in tomorrow. Good night.
Before you go on with your story, Father, I would like to thank you for giving up your time during your holiday to help us in this matter.
Oh, I was puzzled over Teresa, and it was no real trouble to make a few inquiries whilst I was at home. I was lucky in finding a neighbour of hers, a Mrs. Tovey, a gossip of a woman. What none of us knew was that Teresa was not only involved in a bomb incident, but that the house she was in was entirely obliterated. And what's more, she was trapped for several hours and didn't recover consciousness till she'd been in hospital for 2 days. The miracle was she was uninjured apart from concussion and shock.
Was this mentioned at her trial?
Yes, it was touched on, but very briefly.
Yes, but what wasn't mentioned was this. Teresa was not the only one in the house at the time. There was someone else in another room. A 6-month-old child, Teresa's baby. He was killed by the bomb. Mrs. Tovey very kindly gave me this.
So Teresa did have a baby.
Yes, indeed.
So that was it. May I?
What was her lawyer thinking of? He should have found this out.
Well, I have spoken to him. Apparently he found her completely uncommunicative.
Oh, damn it, man. She was in shock. She couldn't remember much, and what she did, she pushed away.
Why didn't her family come forward?
Well, she had no parents. She was brought up by the nuns from babyhood. She told Mrs. Tovey that when she left the convent, she worked in this hotel, living in. There she met this young fellow. They were saving up to be married on her 18th birthday. And a week before the wedding, he was killed by a stray bullet. Teresa was pregnant. 3 months before the baby was born, she took a room in this house. Mrs. Tovey said the baby was Teresa's pride and joy, a lovely child.
Did Mrs. Tovey see Teresa after she was discharged from the hospital?
No, that was the strange thing about it. She never heard from her again. The next thing she knew was when she read about the baby snatching in the newspapers.
Why didn't she write to the court?
Oh, I don't think the poor woman could sign her name, never mind write a letter.
Hello, Teresa.
Oh, madam, I was hoping you'd be coming.
How are you feeling today?
Oh, not too bad, except for a headache. Could I talk to you, madam?
Well, that's why I'm here.
Will they be charging me again?
What for?
Well, I did take Mrs. Scott's baby from his pram.
Just as well you did. You saved his life.
Oh, he must have thought I was awful dumb when I came here first. But all I could think of was looking for Davy. And he was dead all the time.
Yes, I know.
Hi.
Father O'Callaghan visited your street and saw your neighbour.
Mrs. Tovey? Oh, she's a nice woman. Fancy, and I clean forgot her. Could I write to her?
Yes, of course you can. She gave Father O'Callaghan this.
Davy?
Why can't your boyfriend's parents visit you?
Didn't have any, like me. When might we go back to the sale, madam?
Well, that depends on Dr. Mays. Now you must try and get some sleep.
Who planted the bomb, madam?
Well, the police aren't sure yet.
You don't think it was anything to do with me being here, do you?
Why should it be? Bombs go off nowadays with no rhyme or reason.
You can say that again.
I've got some good news. The Home Office have approved of the transfer.
Well, you sound pleased.
I am pleased. Get Miss Parrish, will you? I'm always pleased when I get someone worthwhile away from here. Miss Parrish, I'd like to talk to Carol Waterlow and Teresa in my office, please, as soon as possible. Thank you. I also have some other news. Mr. Waterlow has very kindly consented to come and see me. He can spare me a half an hour to discuss his only daughter, who's serving a 4-year sentence and whom he has never visited.
Good luck.
Come in. Thank you, Miss Barnes. Wait outside, will you? Sit down, girls. On the sofa, if you want. Don't look so frightened, Teresa. I've got some good news for you. I've managed to arrange for you to go to Greengates, which is a modern open prison.
But I don't want to leave Carol. Teresa. Sorry, Mum.
Well, I was going on to explain that I've arranged for you both to go.
Oh, Madam.
What do you think, Carol?
That's all right by me, Madam.
Well, the atmosphere there, of course, is much freer than here. You'll go for walks and so on, but you've got to behave yourselves.
When will this be?
Oh, quite shortly.
Oh, that'll be lovely.
Now, I don't want you to get into your head that it's a holiday camp, you know. Greengates is still a prison. Take Teresa back to South Wing, will you? I want to talk to Carol alone. Sit down, Carol. We're going to have that talk, you know, whether you like it or not. Because I want to know a lot more about you. Your father's coming to see me.
I don't believe it.
Well, it's true.
To come here, Waterloo QC, where any of the screws might recognize him, and see him visiting his delinquent daughter. How did you manage it?
Well, the fact is, he's coming to my house.
Ah, well, that's more like it. I didn't think even you could manage to get him to come here.
I know that he has never visited you, but has he ever written to you, Carol?
I don't want to talk about it.
I think you should.
I loved both my parents as a child. And then my mother left him when I was 7. It made news when he was making a success in his career. He was terrified it might harm him. I didn't see him much. But when I did, he proceeded to take it out on me.
And your mother?
I never saw her again. She died when I was 10. The years till I was about 12 were unbearable.
Who looked after you?
Housekeepers. That's when I developed my temper. Then someone persuaded my father to send me to boarding school.
Was that better?
Yes. Yes, I loved it. I hardly saw him for those 6 years, and I almost turned into a human being.
Did he come and see you on speech days and so on?
Joking. I did well at school, and I swore to myself that I'd start with him again. I thought he might be proud of me.
And all you wanted was to be allowed to love him.
I suppose so. What a hope. He couldn't have cared less. Very soon I was living on my own. I think I might have forgotten him. But last year a book was published in which the most terrible things were said about my mother. And I went to him to implore him to do something about it. Wouldn't listen, of course. When I arrived, he said, I can give you exactly half an hour. He valued those paintings I stole. He must mind quite a lot. Excited.
What do you think?
You two ready?
Yes, Miss Parrish.
Right, come along with me. Miss Roberts will take you along to reception where you can get the rest of your belongings.
Governor's pets.
Yankee sluts. That's enough, you two. You can't say goodbye decently. Let it alone.
Thanks to you, we nearly all got killed, didn't we? Now look out! Carol, behave yourself! Carol!
Oh, Carol.
Sorry. Filthy. My temper.
Yes. It's not good, Carol.
I know. Has she arrived yet?
Yes, she's settling in.
No chance of me. No.
You really hurt Mrs. Davis.
I said I was sorry. I'll apologize to her.
No chance. When you leave solitary, you're going to be moved to another wing.
Yes.
Carol, you've got to try and control your temper.
I'll try.
You must. If you want to have any future here or when you leave.
I know. What did my splendid father say when you saw him?
I'm afraid he cancelled the appointment.
Good morning. Lovely one?
Not so lovely. I've just had a call from Greengates.
Yes?
Teresa O'Donovan has run away.
Oh, no. Silly tyke. She'll get caught, they'll bring her back here.
That's why she did it. Little fool.